see if this thing's working. Should be on right now. Usually I can see it on my screen though. Hello? Anybody online? Hopefully you guys can hear me. There it is, okay. All right, here we go. Let's see here. All right. Well, I've got one person listening. Hey, what's going on? Malice Alice. Good to see you too. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you? I'm sure she'll respond here in a minute. Thank you for the like. All right, guys. Wow. What the fuck is going on with America? Holy shit. So, I'm going to lay out my opinions. You guys are more than welcome to express yours as you know it. This is a channel of free speech. This show is called Tampa's Own. I talk a lot about politics, creativity. I would like to run for mayor, as crazy as it sounds. Yeah, fuck what you guys think. I don't care if I don't look the part. I look like me, which means I'm authentic, and that means you can trust me because I won't bullshit you. Realistically, maybe I should try to run for city council. So, I want to talk about all the shit that's happening in America right now. I mean, Minnesota's about to burn to the fucking ground. The leftists keep going back and forth with ICE. They think ICE is being abusive. ICE seems like they're really getting tired of, well, they're rioting. And it's getting really fucking ugly. And I actually want to talk about Renee Good and I want to talk about Alex Pretti. I also want to talk about the Grammys and just what a damn propaganda storm that I think that is. So, let me get into the first thing. So, you know, the murders in Minnesota, shootings, killings, you know, whatever you guys want to call them, have pissed a lot of people off. A lot of people on both sides, you know, on the red and the blue side. Should Renee Good have been killed? I don't know. But I respect her right to protest. I respect everybody's right to protest, complain, you know, be the force for change, you know, as much as you want to be, as much as you feel like you need to be. A lot of people, and I know I'm late to the party on this, I've been debating on whether I was going to talk about it or not, but, you know, it's kind of brewing up in me too, you know, especially after Alex got shot. A lot of people think he's a crisis actor. I'm not really sure. I know it incited a lot of opinions. And I actually jumped on a conservative chat the other day, and surprisingly, well, surprising to me at least, I got chewed the fuck out for asking questions about verification about Alex Pretti, because they were talking about, well, you know, and we know that he wasn't really a nurse. I was like, okay, cool, fair. How do you know that? I mean, anybody that knows me, that has been watching me for a long time, knows that I'm a facts person. I like facts. I like truth. I don't like conjecture. I don't like hyperbole. I don't like, you know, speculation. I like, okay, what do we know? And they jumped on me. I mean, it literally is 200 replies. You heard that right, guys. On this video, where I commented on this popular, you know, right-wing outlet page, I got it's about 200 comments. Now, I have responded to a lot of those comments, so a lot of those comments are me too. But I got all kinds of, negative, oh, well, do your damn research, and yeah, you don't know shit. I said, I'm literally just asking a question. I'm just asking for proof and verification, oh, he was never a doctor, or he wasn't a doctor, he got fired. Okay, cool. How do we know that? Well, it's right there on the news, dumbass. Well, there's a lot of things on the news. I mean, I'm really surprised that a lot of the right wing has been chewing my ass out over fake news, considering that that's all that, we tend to talk about. Aren't we the ones who like supposedly objective facts? And that's not to say that all leftists are illogical, emotional, toxic, and all that. It's not. I know a couple of leftists who can debate the hell out of me, and it surprises me. I'm like, oh shit. Well, thank you for sharing that. And I appreciate that because I feel like that's how we grow. Sometimes getting through the ugly can help get us to the other side where the grass is greener. And it can inspire healthy debate and perspective, really, perspective. Perspective probably being the most important part here. I can think of one right now. His name is Cecil. I won't say his last name, but, he goes by Cecil. Totally left. And yet we're still friends because when we get on each other's pages talking about things, we stick to the problem and we voice our opinions as respectfully as we can. It's hard to do sometimes because these things really, get to the heartstrings. But he's able to lay out a lot of proof of why he believes what he believes. And, most of the time I walk away from him and I think we walk away from each other going, okay, fair enough. Shaking hands, as it were. But, so getting to the first thing I want to talk about, Renee Good, I feel like she was being very provocative. She came out into the street and, kind of made her car a barricade in the middle of a street where they were conducting a police operation, or should I say, federal operation. Now, there's one thing about, these ICE guys, okay? A lot of people hate the hell out of them. I understand that. And they may not have the training, this, that, and the other. Okay. But these are like basically deputized federal agents. I mean, you don't want to get in the middle of their operations, and you definitely want to know your rights if you are going to deal with these people. They're very powerful right now. They're backed by Trump. Trump is very powerful right now. And we need to all be careful. For one thing, definitely be respectful to the authorities. You do absolutely have a right to say, hey, if you're going to invade from what I have learned from a lot of legal advice that I've been looking up on YouTube, which has been good, a lot of them are attorneys, I'm not an attorney, is if they do come to your house, we need to come in, don't open your door to them. You don't have to open your door to them, but you need to ask them, okay, do you have a warrant signed by a federal judge to search my house, my home? They have to be able to show you that. Now, if they break through your door, and I've been hearing that, I have not seen this, but I have heard this, that they have done all kinds of crazy shit. I don't know. If they do, don't fight them, don't resist them. God, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Just stick to your rights. Have a right to an attorney. You can't enter my place if you don't have a federally signed or signed by a judge, federal judge, I think, warrant. I need to find out what happens if they stop you on your car, because this is something that we're all dealing with, whether you're right or left. ICE is coming through in city after city, and I feel like a lot of these people are handling things kind of wrong, and this is kind of, to me, this is going to be one of those situations where if you fight the law is going to win. It's like the song goes, I fought the law and the law won. This is one of those times where if you fight the law, they're probably going to win right now. So, oh, hey, John. He says, I like respective debate. Thanks, DA. It's good to see you again. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Yeah, I like free debates. I encourage free speech. This is America. This is what we're supposed to be all about. You know, if you are a leftist, speak your mind. If you are a rightist, I don't know what they call us, speak your mind. If you're a libertarian, speak your mind. If you don't believe in any of that shit, speak your mind. Christian, atheist, Satanist, Wiccan, magic practicing, voodoo priest, I don't care. Speak your damn mind. That's the beauty of where we live, or that's supposed to be the beauty. So what's that, John? You're a centrist? Are you saying that you're a centrist? Forgive my ignorance here, and I have a good idea of what that means, but you know, what does centrist mean to you? And while he's explaining that, I want to talk about Renee Good real quick. And you know, like I said, I mean, did she have every right to be angry? And I think that this is wrong. Yes, she went about it in a way that did not protect her or her rights. And I think that really what did it for her was, you know, she put her car in drive. And I don't know if she was trying to run over that ICE officer. I don't know. I don't honestly know if she was trying to run over that ICE officer or not, or flee the scene. To me, it looks like maybe she was trying to flee. But what we do know, unfortunately, is that she put her car in drive, proceeded to move forward, and she was killed because she hit an ICE officer. She did in fact strike the ICE officer. We saw that in later footage, and it got her killed. And this is why I say, if you're going to approach ICE, learn your legal rights and how to do it the right way and effective way. Lobby for legislation if you can. And I don't know a lot about that. Like I said, I'm learning a lot about the politics side myself. I myself would like to run for city council one day. I want to be involved in politics and making change because it's something I'm passionate about, something I care about. Alex Pretti, on the other hand, to me, was a lot more antagonistic. Now, a lot of people say he shouldn't have died right there. I can understand why a lot of people think that he should not have died when he died, because it does appear that when he was being restrained, that at that point he was either unarmed or at the very least, from the limited footage that I've seen, it doesn't look like he was brandishing any kind of weapon. Now, we do know that he was armed. He was armed with a loaded gun. My personal theory on that, and a lot of people might get mad at this, I want to talk about how I feel about it. I personally feel that Alex was an antagonist, very much so. He was very violent, erratic, and aggressive towards, the police. And I lost a friend recently over, debating over this because, they were like, oh, so you think he should have been killed? I'm like, well, I'm not going to say if he should have been killed or shouldn't have been killed. I can understand why maybe people felt scared enough to kill him. He came to the protest, and from what we have footage of and what we think we know, is that he was very aggressive. There's one scene where he is kicking out the taillight of ICE vehicle. He actually smashed the taillight to pieces, so he kicked it hard enough to smash it off the car. There's a lot of aggression in that. I don't know if you've ever kicked a taillight off a car, but you have to kick the shit out of it to do that. We're not talking about just a thump. I mean, he really went all in. Now, he wasn't waving his firearm at these times, where I've seen him acting aggressively. But he was armed, and he was acting aggressively. He was acting very violently. He was yelling. He was really trying to be a leader in a lot of this rowdiness and this rebel-rousing. And then he spit on an ICE officer. Honestly, he should have been arrested right there. I mean, that is assault. You can go to jail for that. What he did commit were federal crimes. This is a very big deal to assault someone's car. And so what I said to my friend who, ended up blocking me, was, well, I just asked her, I said, well, listen, how would you feel if somebody who is armed, with a loaded gun, who has a gun permit, who is armed, is coming to you and attacking you, attacking your vehicle to the point where they're damaging it, spitting on you, and screaming and yelling and throwing up their hands, getting in your face and stuff like that, and they repeatedly come around, you might feel defensive. You might feel like you might need to take this person out before they come and take you out, because I would be thinking that. If I saw this person on the street, and if I was a regular dude and he starts kicking the shit out of my car, smashes out my taillights, spitting on me and stuff like that, I would feel afraid enough to take this guy out, because I'd be like, okay, I don't know what this guy's capable of. I'm afraid this guy's going to come back tomorrow or maybe in 20 minutes and come back and try to shoot the shit out of us. So he was scary. And do I feel like he kind of had it coming? Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Now according to procedure, should he have been shot right there? Absolutely not. No, he shouldn't have. Was he scary though? Yeah, he's a little scary. Okay, so hold on, let me check out John's comment real quick. So John says that a centrist is someone who rides the fence, moderate political views. Yeah, I think that that's a very balanced way to be. I don't, I can't perfectly lean all the way right or left. Some things make sense on both sides to me. I like traditional values and a lot of the ways of upholding the law that the conservatives believe, but sometimes you may need to push against those and challenge them, which is very leftist. I do believe in socialized healthcare, which is very leftist. I guess I lean conservative because I believe in very traditional values, gender roles and stuff like that. But at the same time, I don't believe that everyone should be expected to do that. I agree with the right for the most part until they start talking about, the Bible. That's one area where I will conflict with them. I feel like the right needs to stop mixing church and state as much as they do. They talk about this as God's land and stuff like that. This is for everyone. Atheists are here too. Magic practicing, everybody's here. Gays are here. Transgenders are here. All these people are also here. This is also America. Country white folks are here. Mixed and multiracial people are here. Urban black folks are here. Urban Latinos are here. We are not just one thing. I'm not just one thing. And so those were some of my thoughts about that. And I feel like we really need to not try to attack the shit out of ICE. That's what I think. I think in our own best interest. Now, how to deal with, a lot of the allegations of abuse, I don't know. I really don't know. I just know, if you want to survive, here's how you need to deal with ICE. We learned that very tragically with Alex Pretti, these are not people, to fuck around with. They're really not. They're really not. So, got a few people listening right now. You guys are more than welcome to comment. Say anything you want. So I guess at this point, I'll go ahead and get into the whole Grammy fiasco. First of all, as a independent recording artist, I don't really give a shit about the Grammys. To me, they quit being relevant years ago. Who the hell cares about music nowadays, especially mainstream music? Everybody's kind of doing their own thing anyways, because mainstream music doesn't make shit anyways, and it's just an agenda. And they have taken my royalties. They have destroyed the industry with their greed, and it's the same thing where the top 0.01% are starving out the rest of us who actually make good quality music, who actually put our heart and soul into it. They don't give a fuck what the mainstream thinks. And yeah, exactly. Fuck Holly weird. I agree with that. Yeah, so Marvino Argentino. Forgive me if I didn't pronounce your name right, but yeah, no, I agree with that. You know, who gave Hollywood so much goddamn authority? Most of them are fucking young people who are very one-sided about everything. And that's what I wanted to talk about next. You know, I feel like the whole thing was a damn propaganda episode about fuck ICE. I mean, that kind of thinking is going to get you guys canceled. It's going to catch trouble for you guys. You know, you guys have the power and the time to probably go lobby for shit. Go do that. Change the fucking laws if you want to change them. Go ahead. I'm serious. I'm dead ass serious. I support your right to go and lobby for that. But I mean, if you're doing that with no intent to do anything about it, then what's the point? You know, Billie Eilish jumped on there and she was like, oh, you know, no one's illegal on stolen land. Now, you know, that's an interesting point, and I do agree that this is stolen land. I do. I really do. It is. It is. But you know, this is the way that it is now. And, you know, to maintain a sense of order without total chaos, there has to be some kind of established order that's fair and acts in at least most people's best interest. I agree with that. But I feel like it's kind of hypocritical of her to sit here and say, you know, no one's illegal on stolen land, when she has, you know, acres and acres of property that apparently is on Native American land. They're now asking for her to give her land back. And I mean, you know, should we give land to Native Americans? I absolutely think we should, yeah. They were massacred. So, yeah, I do think that. But just this whole thing about no one's illegal on stolen land, it's, you know, there has to be some kind of order. Because if we don't have order, I believe criminals and gangs will take over everything. You know, you look at countries where things aren't enforced like that, you know, criminality, you know, even border patrol, you have gangs, you have cartels that are running everything. And you can get killed and you can get butchered on sight. So it's like, you know, is the police force and is ICE the lesser of the evils? Well, some would argue, but I kind of think that maybe they are the lesser of the evils. Now, does that mean that they should not be regulated? No, they should be regulated. And if they are committing abusive practices, then that needs to be dealt with. You know, they definitely should not have a free blank check to go unmonitored, because that is exactly how corruption happens, and abuse of power, outright murder. I mean, you name it. You name it. It's horrible. So I'm going to check some of these comments real quick, see what you guys have to say. Yeah, so John says, I haven't watched the Grammys in years. Yeah, they're truly irrelevant. They're out of touch. And I feel like in recent years, they've been used for nothing but propaganda. You know, I mean, this last show was a perfect example of that, where, you know, just everybody was like, oh, down with ICE, fuck ICE, fuck ICE. It's like, okay, we get it, but, you know, this is Grammys, you know, we're talking about music here. And so the Grammys feel like a joke to me. I think they're out of touch. Most Americans that I see nowadays, which is cool, are starting to kind of branch into their own style of music. You know, like I meet people nowadays, I'm starting to meet people younger and younger, and thank God they're, you know, the shackles are kind of coming off. These people, you know, they listen to whatever now. Oh yeah, well, I listen to some house music, country, rock, and classical. Oh, I listen to Bad Bunny, and I listen to Led Zeppelin. So I wish that the Grammys would kind of loosen their shackles on, you know, humanity and, you know, musical culture. Because, I mean, it's getting to the point where a lot of underground artists cannot and really has been at the point where we can't survive at all. I mean, they're taking everything from us. In fact, I don't know if you guys know this, and most of you probably wouldn't if you're not published musicians, but a lot of the royalties that I can't collect actually go to the top dogs. So people like Jay-Z and Beyonce, Lady Gaga, Billie Eilish, I mean, all of them, you know, the royalties that I can't get by hiring a lawyer to constantly track down the little bit of plays that I get because they won't play my shit and put it in any kind of rotation, goes to them anyway. You know, these things that are unclaimed go back to them. And it's totally unfair. It's totally fucked up. So, that's not cool. So, oh, hold on one second. Got another comment here. So Marvino says Hollywood should be all about entertainment, not politics. Stick to the music and movies. We don't need to hear more bullshit. I agree with that. I agree with that. I mean, you know, a little bit of that, okay, sure, I get it. But I mean, it seems like they're aiming the whole thing. The whole thing is like a masqueraded propaganda show. It doesn't even seem like it's really about the music. The music is like the disguise or the distraction to the fact that it's really pushing politics. And that gets frustrating. So, yeah, I agree with that. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think about what's going on with ICE right now? And if you catch this after the live feed, I'm going to have the comments open anyway, so feel free to comment and say what you want to say. What do you think about ICE? What do you think about Renee Good? What do you think about Alex Pretti? What do you think about the whole thing about the Grammys? Inquiring minds would like to know. I don't have a lot of viewers. I think it happened because last minute. I probably said that I was going to make a live video probably about 10 or 15 minutes before I actually made a live video. So it wasn't something that I really planned. It was more or less something that I really wanted to talk about because, I mean, it's bugging me. I think it's bugging everybody now. Everybody's getting mad at this, whether you're right or left. My leftist friend Cecil, he believes that this is the beginning of fascism in America. And he laid out a lot of good reasons like he usually does. Thank you, Cecil, for that. I have my skepticism about that, but you definitely laid out a very good case for the fascism argument. I guess I just feel, you know, what happens if we don't do anything? You know, and I looked at a lot of the examples like New York, or like Minnesota, or Southern California, where you can have criminals just breaking into stores in broad daylight. You can't do anything. In fact, some of those places are so bad that you can't even defend yourself. If you defend yourself with a weapon, then you could go to prison. And it's sad that it feels like we, the law-abiding citizens and rightful gun owners, have to fight more uphill battles legally than the fucking criminals. And that does piss me off. You know, I have heard of people shooting a criminal in their own house and going to prison. And if that criminal lives, they sue the homeowner that they broke into. That's not fair. It's not fair at all. So I guess it's like, where do you draw the line here? Because, you know, some of the people that are being detained, some of the people that are being deported, they are criminals. Some of them. That's not to say all of them. Maybe not even most of them. Some of them are, though. It's a tough situation. And in reality, too, it's like, you know, you got to blame the government, too, to a certain extent, because they, you know, let's look at this another way. They're also part of the problem. You know, the bureaucracy makes it harder for us to live. And so I know that a lot of my leftist friends also look at that as a scapegoat. Why do they deport everybody? And they're so focused on that when they're sitting on top of their billions of dollars and their corporations and, you know, their everlasting new and improved laws that seem to limit more and more and more of our basic fucking rights and freedoms, which is frustrating, and extort money out of us. You know, I mean, everything just seems like it's designed to give them more money and lose a little bit more and more of our freedom. And so you have that argument too. And the truth is they're both valid arguments. They're very valid arguments. And I feel like they're both true. You have to have law and order, but you also can't have tyranny. There has to be some middle ground and balance of power and power to the people, but not absolute chaos either, and just free reign where people are just burning fucking buildings down, or where criminals are coming here, or where lawmakers are, you know, raising the cost of everything because they have endless reasons for why they're doing that and making it harder and harder on us, while our minimum wage just goes up just a tad, just a little bit, just a little bit. Both of those are true. It's getting harder to live, and we also have a problem with chaos and a lack of law and order. I feel like both are true. So John says Grammy should be for vinyl only, gramophone playable. I like that, that's funny. I like vinyl. I feel like a lot of music, especially a lot of the old stuff that I listen to, I like the way it sounds on vinyl better anyway. I don't know, it just has more of a bassy, grainy feel about it. Digital is cool, it's clear. But yeah, I don't know, just something about the analog that I grew up on. Like, for instance, I'm into a lot of old school electronic music. And funk, really, you know. Those things sound so damn good on vinyl, it's not even funny. And you know, I mean, they were made with that in mind. You know, that's what they had available back at the time. So Kraftwerk is one of my favorite groups. They make a lot of electronic music. They're German. They did Trans-Europe Express. They did Home Computer. Look them up if you are into pioneering techno music, because that's exactly what they were. They were four German guys. They had songs like Trans-Europe Express, The Robots, Neon Lights, and they just had an awesome sound, and it sounds so much better on vinyl to me. Especially Trans-Europe Express and Computer World. Those two albums sound fucking amazing on vinyl. They just got so much bass, and you know, a lot of the funk music sounds good, you know, with the bass. A lot of the classic rock sounds good with bass. All right, got a few more people watching. So, if you're just now tuning in, I've been talking about our current state of America. The show is Tampa's own. I want to run for city council in Tampa. We're talking about Renee Good. We're talking about Alex Pretti, and we are talking about the Grammys in Minnesota and how the Native Americans want Billie Eilish's property. Yeah, it's funny, actually, pretty funny irony there. So, yeah, if you guys have anything to say, like I said, feel free to say it. Just don't be a dick, okay? You can be an asshole, but don't be a dick. And like I said, if you're watching this afterwards, feel free to join in the comments. Talk your shit for free. Just like Redmond said in 1998 in his song, I'll Be That. Right here, you can talk your shit for free. So anyways, I'm going to see if you guys have any comments. I'm going to wait a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to sign off. Like I said, You guys are more than welcome to go to town in the comments, say what you want. I will be posting this on my Facebook, social media, and all that good jazz. And yeah, I mean, I want to hear you guys' opinions on here, because I have just been getting jumped on right and left, literally, for all of us. I've lost a lot of friends over my views, and it's just, people are really, really on fire about this shit. I don't know if any XJWs are watching, but I still got Watching Watchtower up. That is my Facebook group for us ex-Jehovah's Witnesses and activists. It is an activism group, and they are having a lot of lawsuits, which is awesome. I am glad that the Jehovah's Witnesses are getting so many damn abuse lawsuits, because that's exactly what they deserve. If you guys don't know, I am an ex-Jehovah's Witness. I was a Jehovah's Witness for about 20 years, got away from the cult, and I'm very glad that I did. They have a lawsuit that's going on, I think it's in Norway, yeah, and it is going to really be the deciding factor of, you know, whether being disfellowshipped and shunning is discriminatory. Alienation, you know, parental alienation, alienation of families and stuff like that. They are really going to crack down. And I am glad that they care so much about human rights. So, yeah. YouTube #1 social platform. Hope to see you next time. Hell yeah, John. You too, buddy. Thank you for chiming in, and thank you for the comments. Thanks for sharing your opinion. Hey, what's going on, Lazy Panda? So if you are just tuning in, Lazy Panda, I am talking about Billie Eilish, the Grammys, what she said about all of us, you know. Oh, Kong, what's up, Kong? So Kong is a good buddy of mine who we've been friends for 19 years now. He's cool as shit. Definitely has a hell of an opinion. He follows all this stuff, and we just kind of watch the world. And so, yeah, Kong, if you're just now tuning in, I am talking about basically Ice, Renee Good, Alex Pretti, and just, you know, the Grammys, and how it was just a total propaganda bomb. And I am inviting everyone to, you know, exercise their right of free speech and say what the hell they want to say about it. So, yeah, if you're just now tuning in, you'll have to check out the earlier parts of the video, the broadcast, if you will. I love that word. This is a broadcast. It makes me feel like I'm big. I want to be on radio anyway. I want to run for city council. I want to do a lot of creative stuff, and I want to be on radio. So, if anybody out here is hiring and wants somebody who doesn't mind stirring up a little fuss every now and then, and could really just be a cool-ass DJ, definitely hit me up. So, me and my friend Kong, you know, we kind of watch the world, and we talk politics all the time, and just kind of break a lot of these things down into just what the hell is going on in America right now, and really the world. And so we always have a lot of cool discussions in and around this stuff. God, you guys are tuning in late. I've been on the air for 40 minutes. and 49 seconds as of right now when I just said that. He said I just looked at my phone. I know, I know. And it was me, honestly. I said probably 10, 15 minutes on Facebook before I jumped on here. Hey, I'm gonna go live. So totally unplanned. I should have said something about it earlier today, and I meant to. I didn't know if I was gonna be too busy or not. I've been running errands all day. Did a lot of stuff. Yeah, yeah, sure does. Kong says it'd be like that sometimes. Yeah, yeah, it does. That's life. On your days off, you gotta handle all the bullshit. Kind of like everything that's going on in America right now. It's a bunch of bullshit. Bullshit. He says the fact that all of our conspiracies are coming true is hella scary. Yeah, I feel like a lot of them are, and it is scary. I remember, me and Kong, we were talking about a lot of this shit damn near 20 years ago now. And, some of it seemed kind of far-fetched and out there. And, we're digging deep and we're kind of seeing a lot of this stuff happen, and it's like, holy shit. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I was talking to my Yeah. Oh, good. Okay, it just came back on. All right. Sorry about that, guys. My live feed got interrupted by one of those damn scam callers that is from the loan department telling me that I won. Yeah, thanks, Kong. He says, welcome back. Yeah, apparently I'm the most luckiest guy in the world. I mean, all day, every day, people call me and just beg to give me money. I can't believe it. I'm so damn lucky. The loan department calls me literally like 50 times a day and says, hey, you've been approved for $70,000, man. And then you try to call them back, and it's like, boo-doo-doo. Hate that shit. Loan department, stop calling me. I don't want another loan. I'm already in enough debt. America's in enough debt.
That's why they're stealing all our money.
Yeah. All right, so I'm back. So, Kong says, I think one of the first conspiracy theories we talked about was the whole Jay-Z thing about him being in the Illuminati. Oh, Kong says, hi, Bianca.
Hi, Kong.
I don't know if you heard that, Kong. She said, hey. Yeah, I feel like he is. I mean, the whole industry, I think, is not just a business of music. I think it's a business of, he said he heard you. I think that it's a business of pushing maybe a certain aesthetic, a certain style, a certain message. They want you to be like this, basically. That's what I get every time I look at the mainstream music media and the Grammys. Be this way, listen to this, think like this. And I'm too independent for that, and I feel like everybody else should be. Fuck that, I'm gonna listen to whatever I want to. I'm gonna listen to my non-mainstream music that's only got 10 views. I'm gonna listen to my little techno, okay? Fuck your mainstream hip-hop. It sucks anyway. No Limit, Tupac Shakur. Yeah. Oh yeah. Bone Thugs and Harmony, Lords of Lyrics, and pretty much all the other cool-ass old school cats that I like. I don't know, it's like every time I look at the Grammys or something like that, it's like that guy with the glasses, it's like, obey, obey, be like us. And it's like, you don't get to speak for all of us and for America. You know, all of your propaganda stuff that you guys put on there, yeah, fuck all that. I'm going to think how I want. I'm going to do what I want. And a lot of Americans are doing like that anyway now. It's getting to be more and more common where people are deviating from the mainstream media and radio and all that. There's no money in music anymore, so stop trying to even be a fucking mainstream performer. Nobody gives a shit about you. People aren't going to follow you the way that they used to. And people are just going to do their own thing. I mean, my daughter's 18 years old. She listens to like Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, Kraftwerk, 3-6 Mafia, and all that shit. Basically, I mean, she listens to whatever the fuck she wants to listen to. And good for her. Good for her for not following like the mainstream supposed trendsetters. Who gave them so much authority? Who the fuck said we had to obey them? Who the hell died and made them kings and queens? To hell with them. Anyway. I'm sorry about my language. I'm really fucking sorry. Look, man, I get passionate. And we all use a little profanity when we're happy and, you know, when we're zealous and we get passionate about shit. You know, showing off my vocabulary. Come on, man. Come on, guys. Well, okay. Well, I think I'm done with my rants. That's all I have to say for now. There's a lot going on. And, wow. Yeah, let's pay attention to that. What do you say? Cussing in this day and age is a must with all the bullshit in the world. That's right, Colin. With all the bullshit. Bullshit. All of it. Shit. Trans Am. So Bad Bunny's gonna do like the damn Super Bowl.
Yeah!
I'm sorry, but I think he sucks. As a half Puerto Rican, I don't fucking like him at all.
Your other half's too loud.
Yeah. So you had Evie Queen, you had Hector Lavoe, La Fania All Stars. So much better music than his shit, in my opinion, has been made by Puerto Ricans. Our Latin house music, our freestyle music like Coro, TKA, Clavillis and Cole. So yeah, fuck Bad Bunny. All of his music sounds the same anyways. It's all a bunch of nasty bullshit. I think it is. I think it sucks. I think it's terrible. I think it's completely talentless. Who died and made him king? Somebody did, because it wasn't the rest of us. Anyway. Yeah, they talked about Kid Rock doing like a side performance or counter performance. Now see, I could get down with that. And yes, that is my other side. I love Kid Rock. I think Kid Rock is cool as shit. I love his music, especially his older music. Back in like the 90s, he was cool. He's you know, millennials don't know about this. He's Gen X shit. But I thought he was cool as shit. He was a rebel. He rode around a Trans Am. And he was pretty much like, you know, fuck the establishment. He sounded cool though. I don't know if he was a poser or not, but he sounded cool. But I would definitely rather watch him and whoever, you know, the roster is than, you know, Bad Bunny. What the fuck kind of a name is that anyways?
Leave Benito alone.
How the hell, you know, somebody half Puerto Rican Fuck him and J-Lo. They don't get to
Fuck
represent
J-Lo,
us.
yes, fuck J-Lo, absolutely, but leave Betty Hill alone.
Shit, I like J-Lo better than I like Bad Bunny.
That's
And I hate
a
both of them.
woman.
No, I just like the music better. But I still, to me, at best, it was mediocre music. Yeah. But like I said, I mean, this is coming from someone who grew up listening to the Latin house, the mambo, Tito Puente, Fania, you know, the greats, even early Evie Queen. I mean, these were people that, you know, taking a shit has more talent than Bad Bunny. I mean, them throwing up would have more talent than Bad Bunny, in my opinion. The musical complexity was there. The amazing lyrics were there. Everything was there. The vocals were there. Everything was there. The talent was there. So, and you guys may agree to disagree. That's fine. That is your right. Well, anyways, I think I'm done with my rant. That was fun. Like I said, feel free to talk to me in the comments section. Talk your shit for free. Express yourself. And you guys all have a good night. If I could turn this thing off. I think I got it. All right, man. I'll see you later. Let me see here. All right, there it is. All right. Good night, y'all.